Hello, everybody. We're back. We decided to do this again. Why? Because we did. I'm Trevor, and I'm here as always with Thomas. Thomas, how you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. I feel like I always say it's always fun to talk about Oscars, but that's because it always is. So
It is
excited
always
for the
fun to
show
talk
today. We've
about
got
Oscars.
a lot of movies to talk about, a couple of trailers, and a certain James Bond film that may have come out this week that I've been lucky enough to see.
Lucky British people. I still need to do. I still need to finish my Daniel Craig watch through. I've still
Yeah.
only seen Casino Royale. I need to knock out Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre,
Mm.
before Friday. So
Yes.
try and get those out. But yeah, definitely lots to talk about. It was a big weekend for movies. This past weekend, lots came out. I got to see The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which I will be talking about. But yeah, like you said, plenty of news. So you just want to jump right into it.
Sure, let's go for it.
All right. So Ikiru, it's an Akira Kurosawa film. It's being remade as Living, which is so Ikiru in Japanese is to live. Um, so test screenings have begun, and people who have been to those test screenings saying that this could be a late breaker for the Oscar. So Bill Nighy is starring. So it's going to be a British remake of the film. I
Mm.
don't know who is directing, but are you familiar with the plot of this film at all?
I'm not familiar with this film at all, so yeah, I'd say I've never even heard of it before we started running with this show. But if the reactions have been positive, I think it may have be a little too late. Even though we are just in October, it's still maybe a little too late to be first hearing about really a major Oscar contender. So if the reactions are really strong, I think it does stand a good chance. If they're sort of if the film's good, I can see it sort of just slipping through the cracks, maybe.
I could see it definitely getting a BAFTA nom if
Yeah,
it's
if it's a
good.
British film, especially.
If it's British and the BAFTAs last year just kind of turned into a critics group, and I do
Yeah.
think that this could also hit with the critics as well. So that's potential. I mean, Bill Nighy is a previous BAFTA winner for Love Actually, which is really weird, but
Yeah.
uh, so I mean, he's there. I mean, I could see him getting nominated because it's a very heartfelt role. It's about basically the guy who's like a workaholic, who finds out that he has stomach cancer and has less than a year to live. And then it's about him trying to find meaning in his life during the last year of his life.
Okay.
Very, very sad, very
Yeah.
performance driven.
I'm
It's
sure.
heartbreaking. Like the final shots are gorgeously incredible. So if they just adapt it, I mean, even if you just do a Lion King and do a shot for shot remake, but in English, I mean, and in color instead of black and white, like you're still gonna get in with some critics groups and maybe BAFTA.
Yeah,
So
that's
could
true.
be interesting. All right. So I don't normally talk about international feature submissions. I mean, Canada put in a submission, but Memoria was selected by Columbia, starring Tilda Swinton. I only put this on there because a lot of people really love this movie, that have gotten to see it at festivals so far. Um, but Thomas, you know the international feature that I do want to talk about?
Which one would that be?
That would be Spain deciding against selecting Parallel Mothers and instead going with a film called The Good Boss, which doesn't even have a Metacritic page.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
do you not pick? This is like Portrait of a Lady on Fire all over again. How, like, Penelope Cruz will still probably get nominated for actress, I think.
I think this could even hurt her chances, to be honest, a little bit. If it's not nominated anywhere else, I think they may be a bit hesitant to only nominate Penelope Cruz for Best Actress. If the performance is considered one of the best of the year, I still think it does have a shot, but I think this does hurt his chances a little bit.
Like, I thought that this could win. I thought it was between Parallel Mothers and probably Worst Person in the World, maybe Flea, as like your
Yeah,
three that were contending. Because I mean, who knows what France is doing?
yeah,
But you have those three. Like, this is so frustrating. I hate how the Oscars do international feature because you're just giving a country one slot to fill in.
mm,
Like okay, what if, I don't know, Italy has the 3 best films of the year, foreign language or not? They only get to pick one. Like, there shouldn't even be a distinction to begin with from foreign to, like, American or
No.
British.
Yeah.
Like, they should all be treated as the same. Like, we
Yeah.
should be getting films like, Titan and Parallel Mothers and, like, The Hand of God. Like, they should all be in contention for Best Picture, and, like, Flea, Worst Person in the World, but instead they're just relegated to, here's your, like,
Yeah.
participation prize of
Yeah.
international feature, which is so frustrating, especially when a lot of countries don't put in. I mean, I haven't seen either of these films, but, like, people love Parallel Mothers. I love Pedro Almodovar's work. So this
Mm.
is very frustrating, and I hate how they do the international feature category. If you couldn't tell,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think it's a shame that we don't see like more international features in like contention for the more major awards. You see them. It's like this is their one award. And
yeah.
if Parallel Mothers isn't getting nominated for this, I don't see it really getting in anywhere else. I just don't see that really happening, which is a shame because
What
if
I
this film was one of the best of the year, who knows? It could have done big things if Spain had put it in. It could have been the next
yeah,
Parasite.
that's what Portrait of a Lady on Fire should have been
Mm,
as well. Like, imagine having the best picture race between Parasite and Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
yeah, that would have
Like, the
definitely
movie
been
should have
fun.
also been
Very
nominated
good.
for cinematography. Like, the cinematography is incredible. Like, I mean, director should have happened. For Celine Sciamma. Like, so many things. So, like, this is
Mm.
just gonna be frustrating. Another place that I think Parallel Mothers could get in, especially with some recent news, is original screenplay. Because news just broke that King Richard is going to be moving to adapted screenplay. So, because it's reportedly based on a memoir from one of the Williams sisters, which would make it adapted. So Parallel Mothers was kind of on the bubble for original. Now that one of the top 5 is gone, I think that it only raises its chances to sneak in. So
Yeah,
thoughts on King Richard moving and Parallel Mothers thoughts to now get in.
so I think this is interesting, firstly, because you don't tend to see films just switching which screenplay category it is in. There may have been some, attempt to maybe have King Richard be an original screenplay because they maybe think that is a less tight category this year. And if you look at the ones on top for original screenplay, they're pretty even, original and adapted. But there are like possibly more in adapted that could get in. You've got obviously June, House of Gucci, Power of a Dog, Nightmare Alley if they want to go
Humans,
for the humans as well. So there are quite a few in adapted screenplay category. But I think it does maybe help chances for maybe smaller films to get into that original spot because there are the big ones. Obviously, you got Belfast in original. Don't Look Up is probably going to get
Licorice
in.
Pizza.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got quite a few in both categories, but I think the original is slightly less stacked. So it might be a good opportunity to see some of these smaller films like Parallel Mothers maybe sliding into that fifth spot.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think that Don't Look Up, Belfast, and Licorice Pizza are locked.
Yeah, probably at this point.
Um, but then you have Mass, you have Oscar Faradi's A Hero, you have Mike Mills' Come On, Come On, you have Parallel Mothers. I mean, there's
Mm,
still French Dispatch and Last Night in Soho.
yeah, so you might see some
Aaron
more smaller
Sorkin,
films. Yeah, get
Aaron
in, which
Sorkin
will be
has a
good to
movie
see.
coming,
Yeah.
so it'll all be interesting. But do you think that King Richard can get into adapted? Because adapted screenplay is stacked. I mean, you have Power of the Dog, Coda, Tragedy of Macbeth, Nightmare Alley, Lost Daughter, House of Gucci, Dune, The Humans, uh, like Cyrano, Passing. Do you think
Yeah,
King
I
Richard can
mean,
fit in?
I think it can. If the film is like great, and we've heard it being a very crowd pleasing movie. That's the real sentiment we've had taken away from the review so far. It's a crowd pleaser, and I can definitely see them going for something like King Richard. But as you said, it's a very stacked category, so it could just be one of those ones that just slides out. Like maybe Coda, I can see just not getting in. June, even I can see just not getting in due to the competition that there is. So I can see King Richard maybe not getting in currently, probably I'd have to say it will get in. It is in that top five, but we'll have to see closer to the time whether it will stay, whether it will keep that hold.
Yeah, yeah. So where do you think King Richard's Oscar ceiling is? Because I think it pictures a shot. I think director, there's a chance. Will Smith is probably going to win actor. You have Anjanou Ellis in supporting actress. I think that's all the acting noms it gets though. Um, and then like screenplay, we're saying maybe. But as far as tech stuff, like below the line, I think the only thing it gets is editing because they're sports scenes.
Yeah, I can see if it can get the screenplay and both the acting. I think it is into for best picture.
Plus editing.
Plus editing exactly. So I think it will get into best picture. I can see it being one of those films that gets a few nominations but doesn't get many wins because I don't think it will be the standout in many categories. I think Will Smith is probably the best shot at winning. I don't see it winning best picture right now. Kind of,
No.
you can see it get it in, but I don't think it will win. Editing, I again just it might win, but I doubt it. So I can see it being one of those films that gets a few nominations, quite a bit of recognition, but not actually taking home many wins.
Yeah, because like the crowd pleasing best picture frontrunner right now is
Mm,
Belfast.
yeah,
So the only thing that's gonna like there isn't going to be another crowd pleaser that's going to top Belfast. The thing that's going to be able to compete against Belfast is like a more like challenging independent type film, which we thought for a while was maybe going to be The Power of the Dog. Hype's kind of died down for that. I could see Power of the Dog maybe getting director and not picture. So it'll be interesting to see if anything can challenge Belfast because right now it just looks like it kind of has a walk to Best Picture. Like maybe Licorice Pizza or Nightmare Alley are
yeah.
the
We
other
need to see
potential
when they
challenges.
release to see proper reviews from them to see how they do. But currently Belfast does have to be considered the front runner for best picture. But I can
Absolutely,
definitely see it being
absolutely.
knocked off the peg by these later films that are coming out in the year.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, all right. Next, we have some news about AFI Fest. So we know that's where Tick Tick Boom is premiering, but we also learned that that's where Swan Song and Bruised are going to be premiering. So Swan Song, it's going to be Apple TV. It's Mahershala Ali, it's Aquafina, it's Glenn Close, and it's about a guy who's diagnosed with a terminal illness. And instead of going through like normal treatment, he clones himself so that way like a version of himself can still live with his family. So this could either be great or terrible. Like this is a really
Yeah,
like high concept type sci-fi thing, and you have Mahershala Ali, you have Aquafina, and you have Glenn Close. Mahershala Ali, two-time Oscar winner. Glenn Close, like eight-time nominee. Aquafina should have been nominated for The Farewell, Fight Me. Um, so it's good cast. I'm not familiar with Benjamin Cleary, but thoughts on this film's Oscar potential, especially now that it's going to uh, AFI Fest.
I think it may be a bit too weird for the Oscars. You have seen some of this more high concept stuff. Ex Machina a few years back get a bit of Oscar attention, but even so, I think this may be maybe just a step too far for the Oscars to really recognize it. I think they are taking steps in directions to sort of nominate these more out there films. But in terms of sci-fi, I can see it already being overshadowed by June. We've got the big
Yep.
sci-fi one. It may take most of attention away from this smaller sci-fi film. And I can see that happening. Premiering at AFI Fest, it's not the most major film festival. It is big to say the least, but it's not like it's premiering at Venice or TIFF for that matter. So, I just don't see it having much Oscar potential.
Now, critics groups, I think, could really go for this.
Maybe.
I could see this making the rounds of critics groups. Speaking of Thomas, we have our first nomination date for a major award ceremony, October 21st, the Gotham Awards nominations. I released the Gotham Independent Film Awards. So that's very exciting. Even
Yeah.
though probably not a lot of effect on the Oscars, just really getting into like the awards part of
Yeah.
award season.
Exactly. Already getting our first nomination soon. Exciting
Yeah.
stuff.
All right. The other film at AFI Fest will be Bruised. This is Halle Berry's directorial debut. Boxing, like revenge thriller. Um, I've heard good things about this. Um, it's going to be going to Netflix. Um, so maybe. Again, I think that this is more of a critics type thing, though, if it does get any kind of noms.
Yeah, I see this one getting lost in shuffle. It's on IMDb currently at 6.1 out of 10, which isn't great.
Yeah.
I can easily just see this one going completely under the radar.
Yeah.
I've not heard anything about it up until this point, which is a bad sign. Yeah, I don't think this would do very much in terms of Oscar potential.
Yeah. No, out of these two, I think that Swan Song is definitely
Yeah,
has more of a chance. So this is interesting. So A24 made a deal with Showtime, the TV network, and The Humans is announced to be premiering on Showtime the same day that it comes to theaters. So the rule for the Oscars was that it was a streaming day and date release. There was nothing ever said about the TV day and date release. So I don't think that there has been a distinction made yet. But that could be really crazy if The Humans ends up dropping out of the Oscars race and becomes a contender for the Emmys Best TV Movie.
yeah. Because I've heard really good things about this film as well, so I was definitely looking forward to see its Oscar potential. A24, they still do have stuff in contention for these big awards. They've got the tragedy of Macbeth, obviously. Come on as well. The Green Knight probably came out a bit too early to really see
Yeah.
any Oscar potential. But to put it, A24 are not without any films in contention. Whilst it would be a shame to see The Humans completely taken off, I still think A24 will recover from it. And, if this was the best deal, if they think that the movie doesn't have really enough strength to go for Oscars, maybe this was the best move for A24 to, put it to TV and make this deal that they know may have jeopardized their Oscar chances.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it stays in the Oscars race because I was hoping that Richard Jenkins was going to get his Oscar for
Yeah,
supporting actor.
and the
Um,
screenplay, those were the two that they were probably going to
yeah,
be looking for, screenplay and Richard Jenkins in supporting.
right. So I hope that this is still Oscar eligible just for this. If not, it's just going to win all the Emmys for TV movie. Like that's just
Mm,
it's just going to win all of them.
yeah,
Speaking of, hey, that is another thing that we can cover over the summer. The Emmys
yeah,
TV movie
I
in limited
see.
series because I'm not watching TV shows that are like 7 seasons in. But I'll
Mm,
do TV movies. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, it would be really really interesting. But I hope that this stays in the race. I really do. So Licorice Pizza, hour 40 minutes. I love it.
Yeah, they're
I
definitely trying to
love
push this
short run times.
accessibility of this
Yeah,
film. We saw it with the trailers. It's not really the Paul Thomas Anderson flair we'd expect to see. So maybe they are trying to get a bit more popularity within the film in order for it to win Best Picture, because the Best Picture does still have to be popular.
yeah, yeah. I mean, contrary to people's belief, like last year was kind of a weird year,
Yeah,
but like, I mean, and even the last 2 years, because Parasite was definitely more out there. But like, if you look before that, like Green Book, I mean, I would say The Shape of Water was liked for
yeah,
the most part. I mean, but then you had like Moonlight versus La La Land, where it went to Moonlight. So it's iffy, but I would agree that it does have to be at least accessible.
mm,
Because all those films like Parasite, Moonlight, they're very excessive. Like, even
yeah,
if a person isn't into independent or foreign films, if they watch those, they're great.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting.
mm,
But I definitely think that this is going to be PTA's most accessible. And who knows, maybe this can take over Belfast's like crowd pleaser status.
yeah. It could definitely.
Because like out of if you had to just pick out of festival films, Belfast is winning Best Picture. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing that came out of a festival that's going to be beating Belfast. So we have to look at films that are coming out later. So films like West Side Story, and like Don't Look Up, and Nightmare Alley, and this film, Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
So I like honestly, those four might be the only four that can challenge Belfast, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, currently I'd say those are the main four. Yeah.
Even though like King Richard is like second on most predictions and
Yeah.
stuff, I would
I
say that that's fair, but it's not gonna win.
yeah.
Like nothing from a festival aside from Belfast has a chance of winning Best Picture. Now you
No,
can clip
not anymore.
that and show it to me once like Dune wins Best Picture, but like I feel very confident that nothing outside of Belfast that premiered at the festival has a shot.
Mm.
Um, So be very interesting. We did get some festival winners, Middlesbrough Film Festival, which I am not very familiar with, but I just like keeping up on the winners at film festivals. If it is a festival that does present awards. So they ended up giving they gave 2 awards for like directors and then 2 awards for actors. So the directors they honored were Kenneth Branagh for Belfast and Paolo Sorrentino for The Hand of God. So I'm really confused about The Hand of God because there was so much hype, and then its Metacritic was a 75, but then now everybody's like saying like no, it is as good as we thought it was again. So I'm really confused. What are your thoughts on Hand of God?
Yeah, I have been hearing similar things. I think the Oscars, they may, put that, sort of rogue foreign director into that best directing category. And it could very well be Paolo Sorrentino who takes that spot, who fills up that spot that, Thomas Vinterberg had last year. And, from what I've heard, the buzz is pretty good on it for the most part. Have been some, sort of mixed reviews, people saying, oh, it's a bit overrated. But on the most part, I still think the critical census around this film is positive. Whether this will hold up until the Oscars, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, and it's also really interesting what you brought up about international directors getting into director, which has been a trend for like the past 4 years. I
Exactly.
mean, if we look at who could get in, there's Paulo Sorrentino. You also have Yoshim Troyer
Yeah.
for Worst Person in the World, Asghar Farhadi, A Hero, Pedro Almodovar, Parallel Mothers. He could maybe fill that spot. Maybe that's where Parallel Mothers could get a nomination.
Mm.
Um, so there's lots of potential picks. If you had to pick one right now for an international director to get into director, who would you say?
Right now, I think I would actually go Paolo Sorrentino. I think I would because I would
I
have
would,
before gone Pedro,
yeah,
but then the whole situation around Parallel Mothers. I think I'm gonna have to switch my pick to Paolo Sorrentino.
yeah. I would have said Pedro Almodovar as well. Right now, I'm feeling actually pretty good about Yoshim Troyer because
Yeah.
he also has a good narrative because he's very well respected and people love The Worst Person in the World. So maybe other awards though. Anne Dowd was honored for Mass, which I think that she's the supporting actress frontrunner right now. I think
Yeah, I
between
would
her
say
and
so.
Marley Maitland, but I think that
Yeah.
she's supporting actress frontrunner. And then Dakota Johnson for The Lost Daughter. So that's really interesting because the only thing I'd been hearing was Olivia Colman for lead actress. But do you think Dakota Johnson has a shot in supporting?
I think she has a shot. I don't think the category as of yet is incredibly strong, so I can definitely see someone like Dakota Johnson maybe slipping in. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about her performance up until this point, which is I think interesting. Maybe they are trying to just go for a sort of out there pick to get a bit of publicity. That might be a thing.
Yeah.
But if her performance is good, it may be slightly overshadowed by Olivia Colman. That is my only fear going into this film. Is her performance may be completely forgotten about if Olivia Colman is seriously in Oscar contention.
Yeah, which I think she is. I do think she
Yeah,
is.
I think as of yet she is.
Um, but supporting actress is really weird because you have Anne Dowd for Mass and Marley Maitland for Coda, which I think are locked in. But then other than that, like you have Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog, which people are saying isn't like she doesn't do that much. Judi Dench for Belfast, again, people are saying she doesn't do that much. Ingenue Ellis for King Richard, which I've heard almost nothing about. Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, maybe. Ruth Negga passing, maybe. Martha Plimpton Mass. I don't see two actresses from
No.
Mass getting in. I mean, you have Rooney Mara, Nightmare Alley. I don't know. Jane Herdishell, The Humans. We don't even know if that's eligible. Olga Meredith, The Heights. That's completely died down.
Yeah.
Like, there's really not a lot outside of those top two. So
Yeah.
supporting actress could be really interesting. To see who gets in, because I think it's basically between Ann Dowd and Marley Maitland, unless Ariana DeBose is in a previously winning role with what Rita Moreno did in West Side Story. So maybe she's the third contender. But yeah, supporting actress is very open right now.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, Ari Wegner was honored for the cinematography in Power of the Dog. So I would love for both Power of the Dog and Spencer to get nominated for cinematography, and I believe there's only been one female cinematographer to ever get nominated before, which is insane.
Okay. Yeah.
So the fact that we could get two for Power of the Dog and Spencer, and both of those movies look gorgeous, that would be great. Let's see. Jodie Comer is officially going lead for The Last Duel. So there was a bit of speculation on whether she'd go supporting or not. The fact that she's going lead probably means that she's not getting nominated. I think that supporting was the smarter choice here.
Yeah, I would agree with that because, as we mentioned just previously, supporting actress category not as stacked as the supporting, no, as the best actress category. So I don't know if this was the best move. From what I've heard, though, she is the lead in the movie. There are really three leads. It is sort of a split perspective film.
Yeah.
And I do like to see actresses and actors get nominated in the category they should get nominated in. I do think that's
Yeah.
important, regardless of, oh, but they're more likely to win here. I don't think that's very fair. I think they should be nominated in the category they are most suited to. And if Jodie Comer is a lead, she is a lead. Whether that hurts her chances, which it very well might do, it is a shame. We need to see the film to truly get a good grasp on how good her performance is. But yeah, I think this is interesting to sort of an interesting wrench in the race.
Yeah, because lead actress, I think that there's 9 major contenders outside of Jodie Comer, and they're stacked. Nicole Kidman being the Ricardos, Cate Blanchett, Nightmare Alley, Frances McDormand, Tragedy of Macbeth, Olivia Colman, Lost Daughter, Jennifer Hudson, Respect, Penelope Cruz, Parallel Mothers, Lady Gaga, House of Gucci, Jessica Chastain, Eyes of Tammy Faye, Kristen Stewart, Spencer.
Mm,
That's stacked. You could see
yeah,
any combination of those 5.
yeah,
I think that Kristen Stewart and Jessica Chastain are maybe in there, but other than that,
yeah. I think
it's
Chastain is the only one at this point I would call a lock. Because even Kristen Stewart, she's been getting so much buzz, but just given how stacked this category is, I could see
yeah,
her slipping out by the time the Oscars actually rolls around.
yeah. Could be too much early buzz because I mean it's still
Mm,
until March.
yeah,
By the time we get winners, February when we get noms, I think. So there's a lot of time to go. We still have 3-4 months until we get noms. So let's see. Speaking of lead actress, is Alana Haim a potential contender for Licorice Pizza?
Maybe I could definitely see a narrative being, set up around a debut actress. That is always a thing. The Oscars could very well gravitate towards too. And especially if her performance is outstanding. As I'm sure Paul Thomas Anderson might be able to get out of her. He's a great director. I could definitely see it maybe becoming a contender. Actually, I really do. I really can.
The thing is there's so many people in lead actress,
There
like we
is.
were just
That is a
saying.
problem.
I
But I
don't
think she is separate from them, sort of in a way, being this debut actress. I think she
yeah.
is able to sort of separate herself from the pack, so to speak.
Here's the thing though, I don't think that I don't think Licorice Pizza is going to get any acting noms. I don't think even Bradley Cooper's getting it. I don't think
Okay,
it's getting anything, and I don't think it needs it. Honestly, to get into picture, I just think it needs director and screenplay, and then maybe an editing nom. like if it can get director, screenplay plus either editing or cinematography, it doesn't matter whether it gets any acting noms. I think it can get in just off of those, which would be crazy, but I think that it could get in without like just one tech nom and no acting noms. So which would be weird. Like I can't remember the last time that that's happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Ford v Ferrari. Like, well, no, because that had all the sound noms.
Yeah, and even that was
Plus
still,
editing.
yeah, it didn't get any nominations, but it was still very in the forefront of acting in terms of both
Yeah,
Bale and Damon.
yeah. So very, very interesting. On whether we can see Alana Haim, Cooper Hoffman, or Bradley Cooper getting in.
Hmm.
All right. So the Tender Bar, we talked about this a little bit last week. But George Clooney's film starring Ben Affleck, first reactions have been very positive. People are really liking this movie from test screenings. So I know we talked about it last week. Do you think does this change your opinions at all? Do you think that it could get in?
I think it could get him, but I think with see the Oscars currently as of now, we've got Belfast as the lead, and then we've just got a lot of potentials. There's no real here are five that are locked right now. That's just not how it's working currently. So I can see this one maybe getting a push. Whether it'll be strong enough, I don't know. It's sort of it's going to Amazon Studios, and I just don't really see this doing much, in all honesty.
The only way it gets in is screenplay. I think that's its only shot to get in for adapted screenplay because it's based on a novel. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
think that's the only way it gets in.
yeah, but even then, we
And
spoke
even
earlier in the
then,
show. Adapted
yeah.
screenplay is a stacked category already.
I mean, this entire year is just stacked. It's going to be really hard for any movie to break in late.
Mm,
That
yeah,
wasn't already a major contender like Don't Look Up, West Side Story,
yeah,
Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, etc. So this is kind of looking forward to next year's Oscars, but Tilda Swinton, George McKay, and Stephen Graham are going to star in a musical called The End for Neon. And I can't remember Neon ever doing a musical before, but I really like this cast.
yeah,
Um, I mean, we're seeing lots of musical hype this year between In the Heights, West Side Story, Tick Tick Boom. I mean, Dear Evan Hansen was supposed to be good.
yeah,
Um, so it'll be interesting if we can see some musical hype carry over into next year.
yeah.
Uh, but do you think that this is any kind of Oscars chances looking ahead to the 2023 awards?
I think looking at the cast, yeah, I do. I think Tilda Swinton, George Mackey was in 1917. That was very big. Stephen Graham, one of the best British actors currently working, in my opinion. It's a very, very good cast. And to see them all in the musical, that's something I think it could be interesting. And yeah, I think it's Neon, so they've got that sort of backing. I could definitely see this making a push next year.
I mean, Neon, is going to just campaign the crap out of anything that they do.
Yeah,
So when I see Neon, I say, oh yeah, probably an Oscar contention. All right. We got a new Belfast poster. In school, it's just like him, like the kid jumping over a bunch of people, and he's in like some armored stuff, and everybody's smiling. It's in black and white, and then there's yellow, and it's like, yay, Oscar bait poster. Um, it's fine. Doesn't really tell us anything. Just wanted to make note of it.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's
Um,
yeah, yeah. That doesn't do much,
yeah,
in all honesty.
no. Andrew Garfield, speaking of category fraud, looks like he's going to go supporting in Knights of Tammy Faye.
Okay.
I have seen Knights of Tammy Faye. He is not supporting. He is very much lead alongside Jessica Chastain. But, he's going to be able to get into supporting probably. Like, I think that he could get into supporting actor for his performance. Probably wouldn't be able to get into lead. So, like, Oscar nomination wise, yeah, it's a good move, but, like, very much category fraud.
Yeah, and I think this actually also hurts the chances of Tick Tick Boom as well. I think Andrew Garfield's performance could be great in that, but if that is for lead and now this is being shifted to supporting actor, I don't see him being nominated in both. And I would say Tick Tick Boom currently would probably be more favoured over Isa Tammy Faye if they were both campaigning in lead. But interesting to say the least.
Oh, I think that is part of the reason why they did move to supporting,
Yeah,
so that way he could be nominated in lead,
yeah.
because you
But I
can't be
think that actually
nominated
may have
twice in the same
hurt it.
category. Yeah, just even to just be eligible.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't know what they would have gone with. All right. HBO has picked up Barry Levinson's The Survivor, which premiered at Toronto. Like this, so it was like it's in black and white. I think it has to do with like the Holocaust in some way, and like escaping, and like he's like then he becomes like a boxer, and then he gets found on TV, and like it sounds like like a historical epic, but like very character focused, and it's Barry Levinson. Like I thought this could become a thing, and like I've heard nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So interesting that HBO has picked it up. Maybe they could get some more eyes on it, but
Maybe.
uh,
Maybe.
I don't think that this is getting anything.
No. And
Um,
it could just be another black and white film to come out this year. We've already
yeah,
mentioned last show, there's a lot of black and white films coming out this year, and I can definitely see just
yes.
this one just getting lost in the shuffle.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then our last piece of news here, Eternals is joining the festival circuit. It's going to be the closing film of Rome Film Festival. Um, so do you think that this has a shot at the Oscars? Like the Marvel Studios is going to be trying to make a push for this. Like I feel like Black Panther was just kind of an accidental Oscar
Mm.
contender. But like Eternals is like they're making a push. Any shot this gets into picture.
Picture? No, I don't think so. It's closing Rome Film Festival. I remember, was it Halloween Kills that closed another festival a few weeks back? I seem to
Yeah, I
think.
think it was Venice.
Yeah, and that film didn't get received very well, so it doesn't mean Eternals is going to be great. I mean, it's Marvel, so I assume it will at least be watchable.
Chloe
um,
Zhao.
yeah, it's Chloe Zhao as well, but it does. This news doesn't mean Eternals is going to be the next best picture. It also, I think, it's very different to Black Panther in a way. It's not breaking as much new ground in terms of superhero genre and movies in general. I don't think it will be as regarded by everyone. It won't be this you need to see it film as Black Panther was. So I don't think it has any chance for best picture. I think the only chance it has is in visual effects and the below the line categories.
Yeah, he only has Oscar buzz because of Chloe Zhao, and rightfully so. She's one of my favorite directors. I love
Mm.
Chloe Zhao's work. I mean, Nomadland, The Writer, Songs That My Brother Taught Me, like all of her films are incredible. This is her first blockbuster type film. I yeah, it's there would have to be like a perfect storm for this to get into picture. I
Yeah,
mean, and even then, like I think it would be getting into picture without a director or screenplay nom. Like it would just be, it would have to basically turn into Dune, and get costumes, visual effects, sound, makeup, and hair, um, and like be considered for director and screenplay by like critics groups.
yeah, and I think for that Marvel would have to do some hard campaigning. But why would Marvel do that? I mean, there is no
I
reason
think
for
they
Marvel.
are. I
Yeah, but
think they're going to
I
do
don't
it.
think they'll have enough. Like, there is no real reason for Marvel to really try and push hard for this to get an Oscar, because it's Marvel. They're going to make money off this movie anyway. So I think for the pushing that this film will need in order to get into those bigger categories like screenplay, like even picture or director, I think it will need harder campaigning than Marvel will be putting out.
I think that Kevin Feige's going to really push for this to get campaigned, whether it comes through. But like he said that this is his favorite of like his favorite Marvel film. He says that he thinks that this is worthy of Oscars. Um, like I think that he's gonna actually try again. Whether anything actually gets done out of it, I don't know. But I do think that this is going to be the most we see Marvel campaign. I mean, this was the first time that they put Academy Award winner in one of their trailers with Chloe Zhao. Never done
Mm.
that before. Even though they had, done it. Like, I mean, the Eternals trailer, they haven't been putting it at like blockbuster type films. they've been putting it before the more artsy films. Like I saw it at like The Green Knight and like Annette, and like I saw it before Eyes of Tammy Faye. Like they're putting it in front of people who are seeing independent and Oscars films. I think that they're trying. I think that so far they're trying. Whether they follow through and continue, I don't know, but I do think that they are going to try. But
Yeah.
this probably still won't get into Best Picture.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. But then again, people didn't see Black Panther coming, so
No.
and
We
that
have
came
to
out
see
in like
close to the time,
February.
I think.
So
Yeah, if this can gain momentum and then keep it pushing, it can, but currently I don't see it happening.
yeah. All right, that is the news. Want to jump into some trailers? Only got a couple.
That's good. Yeah.
All right. Encanto, new Disney film. Got the trailer for it. It's funny, in like April, and May, like with Variety's first predictions, they were predicting this for Best Picture. Clearly isn't happening anymore.
No.
But that was just like their first, like, let's take a shot.
Yeah.
I don't even think that this is winning animated feature anymore.
I still think it will. I think
Really?
Luca came out a bit too early
I
for the
think it's
Oscars.
Flea. I think Flea
You
is
think it's
winning.
Luca? Okay. So I don't think it's Luca anymore. I still don't think they'll nominate a film like Flea to win Best Animated Feature. I think if you look at this, it looks very Oscar based. It's a story about what I assume it's going to be a story about finding your true potential or something
Yeah.
along those lines. And the animation looks all very fun, and the magic looks very creative. And I just see this one being a hit with Oscar voters.
I mean, it's a Disney factory film, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I do think that Luca has a shot.
Yeah.
I think it is the most watched film of the year on Letterboxd. Like, people are
Okay.
watching this movie.
Wow.
There's a lot of people that really like it. But I do think Flea is winning, and here's why: 4 letters, Neon, Neon. I have so much faith in Neon. I think because they're pushing for Flea to get into Best Picture, which I think can happen. Because here's the thing: even though you can't nominate it for like, it has the problem with any other animated film. Like, it isn't going to get acting noms, of course. It isn't going to get director. I mean, it's a documentary, so it can't get screenplay, right?
Mm.
Here's what it can get: animated feature, documentary feature, international feature. If Flea is winning all 3 of those categories, there's no reason why it shouldn't be in Best Picture. Like, Neon set this up where if they can be a top contender in animated, international, and documentary, like it.
But, and I will say, those 3 categories, we don't see many documentary features get nominated for Best Picture. We don't see many animated features get nominated for Best Picture. Toy Story 3 was the last time that happened. We don't see many international features get nominated for Best Picture. We see a couple. I think that is probably its best shot, but those are 3 categories famously not very,
Here's the thing,
correlating
though.
with the Best Picture itself.
It's all 3 of them.
It is all 3 together. We haven't really seen that ever, I don't think.
Ever.
So it is an experiment. But
so here's the other thing: with 3 wins, likely going to be the most wins of the night, barring Dune, right?
Yeah.
If it can put together winning animated like, I think it's the front runner for documentary right now. It's like, maybe you have The Rescue, the National Geographic film from the people who did Free Solo. That's maybe there, but I still think that Flea is the front runner for documentary. Now that Parallel Mothers has dropped out, it's basically just between Flea and Worst Person in the World, maybe Hand of God. So I think Flea is maybe there. And then animated feature, again, I think it's between like this and Kanto and Luca. So like the thing with Flea is, like, I think it's going to get nominated in all 3.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
I could
think
definitely. I definitely think
and
the animated. Definitely think documentary. International, I think at this point probably the least likely, but I can still definitely see that happening.
I think it's I think it's probably nominated in all three, and I think that it has a shot to win in all three. If it can put together those 3 wins, it could get into picture. Like, there's no world where a film wins 3 Oscars and isn't nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So it'll be interesting. I know we were supposed to talk about Encanto, but I had to go on my Flea rant because I'm very, very excited for it. I think I'm actually going to go try to attend the virtual film festival, which will be showing it as a spotlight
Oh,
film.
nice.
So sometime this
I
month.
will say,
I'm very excited about
Mitchell versus the Machines. I know you really enjoyed it. It's gone. It is not
that. It's
really.
getting in.
It's getting in, but it's not going to win.
I know. And Mitchell's vs. the Machines is one of my favorite films of the year. It's getting in, but no, it's not winning.
Yeah.
I never thought that it was going to win to begin with.
No. Yeah, I think
but
you may have said something different earlier this year, but you know,
I definitely didn't. Yeah.
you
No,
want to roll back the
it's
tape.
gone.
I'm sure it's
It's-
recorded somewhere.
It is. No, it isn't happening anymore. I do think I said that I thought it had a shot to win. That's not happening anymore. It's getting nominated because animated feature is weird. So you have Luca, you have Encanto. They're probably getting nominated.
I'd say they're definitely at this point.
Yeah, I think Flea is in.
Yeah.
I think Mitchell's vs. the Machines is in. Now that last spot is weird because you would think Raya and the Last Dragon. I think that came out way too early. I think that people have forgotten about it. You have what I think is going to get in is Belle from Mamoru Hosoda. It's his final film. His last film, Mirai, was nominated in 2018. Was probably going to win if not for Spider-Verse also coming out in the same year. So I think that's the 5th spot. It's going to be close between that and Raya. I mean, we also have like Vivo still there.
I don't know about that one getting in.
But yeah, what do you think are the 5 for animated feature right now?
So I'd say the 4 that you mentioned. So Encanto, Luca, Flea, and Mitchell's vs. Machines. I think they're all probably in. I think Mitchell's vs. Machines. I can see it dropping off. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Again, like Raya, it was released way too early. But I still think that has to be in contention now. And you know, from what you said about Belle, I can definitely see that one getting in because I don't think Raya and the Last Dragon will be the 5th spot. You know, I don't know what that 5th spot will be, but I don't see it being Raya and the Last Dragon. I just don't think they'll want to nominate 2 Disney animated films. I think Raya was released too early. I don't think it was received well enough. It was received okay, but I don't think it had, you know, a massive appeal for audiences. So what that 5th spot will be, I'm not sure, but I can tell you now, I don't think it'll be Raya.
Here's the thing that's scary. The Boss Baby was surprised, came out of nowhere, and was nominated for animated feature.
Yeah, that is true. So
I
maybe
will
Boss
jump
Baby
out of a window
back in
if
business.
Boss Baby Family Business gets nominated for Best Animated Feature, especially if it replaces Mitchell's vs. the Machines.
Yeah.
You will see me so angry because we're probably going to react live to the nominations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did it replace in 2017? I remember it replaced one film. Hang on.
I think it was Lego Batman.
Yeah, I guess Lego Batman. But they seem to just have a thing about nominating Lego movies. You know, I the Boss Baby is not getting nominated though, thankfully.
No. I've also heard things about Where is Anne Frank.
Yeah, from what I've heard, that's not just a bit, you know, forgettable.
Yeah.
But I could see
Crypto
it
Zoo as well.
Yeah.
Won at Sundance earlier this year. So that's maybe a potential. It came out in August. So it's really interesting. I think we have 4 locks and then a kind of up for grabs last spot.
Yeah. I would agree.
Oh, but also the Encanto trailer. It did look good. I mean,
yeah,
it seems very
off that one.
It seems very factory, like I said.
Yeah.
It seems very factory Disney, but it could be fun. I mean, I could see myself giving it a 3.5 or 4. But probably nothing more. All right, Tick Tick Boom. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, I thought the trailer was good. I thought the music sounds good. You know, there was showing a lot of Andrew Garfield. If there is a lot of him in the movie, I could see him making a case for Best Actor. And it all just looked it looked like a pretty Oscar-friendly story. It looked quite accessible. You know, there was nothing too weird about it. It was a bit paint by numbers, but I could definitely see it making a run. The only thing is, with the amount of competition this year at the Oscars, I can see this one being maybe one of the ones that slipped through the cracks.
Yeah. Do you think okay, so looking through like some of the top categories, right? I mean, Best Picture probably not.
Yeah,
Andrew Garfield could happen. Any of the
yeah,
supporting performances probably not. Screenplay. Musicals don't get screenplay. The Oscars
no.
hate giving screenplay to musicals. It's not gonna happen. If Andrew Garfield is a major contender for actor, and this movie is able to pick up like maybe a sound nomination, which I think
Yeah,
is plausible. Like editing usually goes along with sound now, so if this can pick
mm,
up editing, sound, and actor, I still don't think it gets picture. But do you think they could nominate Lin Manuel Miranda for director even without it getting picture?
I don't think so because I think we mentioned this last show how stacked the directors category is. I don't
Everything is
see Lin
stacked.
Manuel. Yeah, yeah, everything seems to be stacked this year, but especially the directing category with the amount of directors, acclaimed directors who are releasing films. You've got Anderson, Del Toro, Spielberg. You've just got a multitude of them. So I don't see Lin Manuel Miranda getting into director, even with those three, which I do think Andrew Garfield has a good shot. I really, really do because if you look at the best acting, you've got Denzel Washington, Will Smith, Peter Dinklage, and one more
Walking
lock.
Phoenix.
Yeah, that's not the lock. Benedict Cumberbatch. That's the
Oh
lock. So
yeah,
those are the four locks in my opinion. Currently, I say locks. They're obviously still up in the air, but those are the four front runners, and you've got that fifth
Brett
spot, and you
Cooper
don't
in
know.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, see, you could get on, but
I mean, you also have Adam Driver has a Gucci. Like
exactly. You've
it's
got a lot of
stacked as well.
ones on the bubble. Exactly. Leonardo DiCaprio as well.
DiCaprio, yeah.
Don't look out. But I
So
could see Andrew Garfield getting him. I do think there is a good shot.
yeah, I know. I think that if the movie is good, he could get in. The only reason I say Lin Manuel Miranda, the only reason I say Lin Manuel Miranda is they could honor him. Like the Oscars would want to honor him for like oh yeah, you did good with like Hamilton and stuff, and you
Yeah.
had In the Heights come out this year, and even though we're going to completely ignore that, we'll honor you for that. And like you had an animated film that a bunch of people like that we don't really care about, but we can honor you for that. Like just like collectively, like good job, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Here's your. Would that be his EGOT? I think that would be his EGOT if he wins. So I
Yeah.
don't think he's gonna win, but like maybe like welcome to the club. We'll give you your EGOT next time. Like
Yeah. Or there's
I
a
can,
reason the Academy just are not paying attention to him and they don't really
yeah,
like his
that's true.
work. That also could be reason there
That's
is
also
maybe
very true.
yeah, they're just ignoring it for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it'll be interesting. I did really like the trailer though. I've never seen Rent. I will
Yeah,
probably
neither.
watch it before this. But yeah, Andrew Garfield looks really good. You know how much I love musicals.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. And also I'm very quickly becoming a an Andrew Garfield fan.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
liking a lot of stuff he's in recently.
Yeah.
I'm liking what he's doing. Um, but so yeah, overall excited for this. I am a Lin-Manuel Miranda fan. I love In the Heights, love Hamilton. So excited for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then A24, A24. We got Red Rocket. Trailer
We
came out.
do.
People loved this in Sundance and in Cannes. I'm excited for it. And it is from the director of the Florida Project, who I am blanking on the name of. He also did Tangerine, famous for doing stuff on
Sean
iPhones.
Baker.
Sean Baker. Thank you.
They got that back of the head right there. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
There.
Which I love his two previous films, The Florida Project and Tangerine.
I've only seen
Um,
Florida Project, but yeah.
okay. I really, really like his work. And what's the name of the actor? Is it Rex? It's something Rex
I don't know. Don't remember.
in this. But I mean, he looks good. I've been hearing lots of good things. It is Simon Rex is the lead.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a dramedy. It's got a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that this could be the critics' hit of the year. Like I
Maybe.
could see critics going for it. I don't think it has an Oscars potential though.
Yeah. I don't recall how much Oscar buzz did Florida Project get.
I mean,
I know it got supporting actor with Willem
people were
Dafoe, but
very upset it didn't get nominated for Best Picture. I think it was projected. Looking at Gold Derby, I think it was projected to get in,
mhm,
and then was snubbed. Same thing with I,
right,
Tonya. There were a couple snubs that year because it
yeah,
only got supporting actor.
yeah, okay.
But well, you talk. I can check Gold Derby's records and see what it was projected to get because I know it was snubbed a lot.
Yeah. Because I was just going to say if the Florida Project wasn't very, didn't get many Oscar eyes on it, I could see this film falling into the same sort of trap. It looks very, stylistically similar. Looks like quite a personal story, so it looks very similar in a number of ways to a Florida Project. And that does worry me slightly that maybe the Oscars won't recognize this one either. There is a two-handed debate. You could say, oh, the Oscars will recognize this one to make up for the fact they didn't recognize for the Florida Project, or you could just say, they didn't for that one. Why would they for this one? I think there's a two-sided debate you could have with that. But I think the trailer for this overall looked very good. Looked very good. Made me very excited for the film.
Yeah. So as far as Oscar buzz, so it was supposed to get into Best Picture, that and I, Tonya, but they were snubbed for Darkest Hour and Phantom Thread.
Hmm.
And then it was supposed to get into supporting actor and screenplay as well, and it got supporting actor, but it was snubbed for screenplay and picture. Um, yeah, I don't see this being an Oscars contender.
No.
I really don't. Like I said, I think it could go over well with the critics. I mean, we talked about the Gotham Awards.
Hmm.
Maybe that's a tell 'em, or like the Indie Spirit Awards. Because it definitely feels like a movie that they could really go for, but it does not feel like an Oscars movie. I mean, I feel like the Florida Project is way more accessible, even, and if they didn't go for
Yeah.
the Florida Project, I don't think they're going to go for this.
Hmm.
But let's talk about now some new releases, Thomas.
Yes.
So
Let's.
before we get into some stuff that we saw, let's talk about some other stuff that came out. So The Guilty came out on Netflix. Do you think there's any Oscars potential here?
No. None at all. I think it completely fell through the cracks. I
Yeah.
hadn't even heard about it. The only thing I know, it's got Jake Gyllenhaal in, and he's not going to get anything because of Best Actor
Okay.
category being so stacked. So it's not really going to get anything, I don't think.
I mean, I could see like the regional critics groups giving Gyllenhaal recognition, maybe.
Maybe.
Or like if Critics' Choice decides to nominate like 12 people in Best Actor like they did last year, maybe he gets in. I
Maybe.
mean, they gave Ben Affleck a nomination for The Way Back, so like,
But yeah, a lot of things would have to go in his favor in order for this film to get any recognition.
yeah, but probably not gonna get anything. There are two animated films, Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, and The Addams Family 2. We talked about animated feature. I don't think they're anywhere near the picture.
Nope. No.
Especially with reception not being like just being mediocre on them. It would
Yeah.
have had to been like Addams Family 2 is a revolutionary animated picture for it to like
Yeah.
get anything. So that's not gonna be getting anything. Titan. Let's briefly talk about Titan.
Yes.
I'm going to be seeing it sometime over the course of this next week. Um, hopefully. The closest theater to me is like an hour and a half away. But if I can make it to Titan,
Yeah.
I'm very, very much looking forward to it. Do you think France is even going to submit this? I mean, we've already seen Parallel Mothers drop.
Yeah, I feel this may be another Portrait of a Lady on Fire situation. I feel this film may just not be accessible enough to many people. From what I've heard, it's very weird. That's the bulk of the consensus I've heard about it. So I could see it maybe just, France thinking, we're not going to nominate this film. It's too weird
Yeah.
for us. And I could see it getting completely forgotten about.
So again, I feel like I'm saying this a lot. This is going to crush with critics. Like this and Power of the Dog, I feel like could run the critics groups. Um, but yeah, if this doesn't get an international feature submission, because if it gets an international feature submission, I could see it maybe getting nominated. Just because it won the Palme d'Or, right? If it doesn't, like, I mean, there's a little bit of director and screenplay hype behind it.
Yeah.
Um, but it would have to win international feature for it to even be like on the bubble of being nominated for director and screenplay. Director's so stacked that that's probably not going to get there. The only thing would be screenplay, which I mean we have seen horror movies get it before. I mean Get Out won
Yeah.
original screenplay, so like there is precedent if it's like a revolutionary film, which people are saying Titan is. So, but that all hinges on the chance that France actually submits it, and
Yeah.
it's a strong contender to win international feature. But very, very excited to check it out. Everybody that's seen it has absolutely loved it. So, Oscars aside, very excited about this movie.
Yeah.
Then Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Visual effects aren't happening. Sorry, everybody. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Have you? Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it. Not releasing until next week here in the UK.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that the first Venom was okay, so it wasn't really a movie that I was rushing out to see.
Still haven't even seen the first Venom. There we go.
Yeah.
I should probably watch that before the second one.
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably.
May just skip it. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's talk about what we did see. I saw The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and you saw No Time to Die.
Yeah.
So we can each give our brief thoughts and our Oscars potential.
Yes.
So, Thomas, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Would you like to go first? No Time to Die. Sorry to note, Eyes of Tammy Faye. No Time to Die is slightly the bigger film in this one, so
Slightly.
I'll let you start.
All right. So The Eyes of Tammy Faye, I really liked it. It isn't like the strongest in direction for Michael Showalter. It's like the story is very messy. It's like it should probably be 20 or 30 minutes longer, but then also I don't think the pacing would have worked. So like I don't think there was a best case scenario here to begin with. I think that it was maybe just what they ended up with the subject matter they were dealing with. But Jessica Chastain is winning Best Actress.
Okay.
You can roll the tape in March. Jessica Chastain is winning Best Actress. This movie should win makeup and hair. It's definitely getting nominated. They transform Jessica Chastain. They do a phenomenal job of aging her throughout the movie. And Andrew Garfield probably should be nominated for supporting actor. But Jessica Chastain's winning Best Actress. There's no way you can do what she did in this movie and not win Best Actress. But yeah, I thought that the movie was very entertaining. And it was just so the title is The Eyes of Tammy Faye, right? And it's seen as like, all of her crazy eye stuff, right? Makeup and hair. But it also, you see the film through her really insane worldview. Where like she, like, I guess minor spoiler, not really even. The movie starts with her as like a young child, and from like her as a young child, you see her using people's belief of God to like manipulate them and use it to her advantage to get what she wanted, and you just see that grow throughout the entire movie. But also it's like she's like a really like, she wasn't like a terrible person. Like she was one of the first people of like the evangelical Christian religion to be very, very supportive of the LGBTQIA plus community, which is crazy in the 70s and 80s, and is very supportive of minorities, but also was embezzling millions of dollars and taking advantage of people. So like it's a very, very interesting character just to see Chastain dive into, but you don't see Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield. They completely disappear into their characters, and even though their performances are very wacky and insane and like almost like laughably like out there at times, I think it all works for what they're doing. So I give Eyes of Tammy Faye an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll start talking about Bond. And firstly, stay away from spoilers. There are a lot of critics have been saying it. There are spoilers if you want them, but stay away from them. The movie will work a lot better if you do stay away from them. I think this film was good, very very good as a whole. I think if you enjoyed, Casino Royale and Skyfall, there is no reason you shouldn't enjoy this film. It is another good Daniel Craig Bond film. If you enjoy Quantum of Solace and Spectre, we need to have words. But if you enjoyed those other two, you'll enjoy this film. I think I was going into this film very skeptical. I thought the marketing for this film was not very good, in all honesty. But it's a good film. Ignore what the marketing looks like. Go and watch it. It's a good film. I thought Blofeld was in this. It's not spoilers. He is in the trailers. Was overused. I didn't think he needed to be here. And I think he did actually take screen time away from Rami Malek's character. Even though this film is long, it's like 2 hours 40, something like that.
Oh, wow.
He's not in it enough, Rami Malek. He isn't. He does not get enough to do. And for such a great actor, and it is a good performance, he is completely underutilized here, which was a shame. What I did love about this film is the way you can tell it's Daniel Craig's last, sort of outing as Bond, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like another James Bond film, whilst also maintaining the ability to, give Daniel Craig a good send off, which I did appreciate. Lashana Lynch's character not in it enough, not in it as much as the marketing would suggest she is, which is a shame. I would have liked to see more done with the character, but I feel she will show up in future appearances. And it is long, as I mentioned, but it does go fairly quickly. I guess it's a weird one because you do feel the length, but it does go quickly. It's the same sort of thing I had with Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You feel the length, but the pacing does move along. There is a lot of plot to cover. In terms of Oscars, I do think it will get something. At least I do think it will get something, whether that be score or sound. I do think it will get something. I could see them giving it score. I think the score is good. Hans Zimmer, so he's a favorite amongst Oscar voters. And sound as well. It's a James Bond film, so I could see it getting in sound. Song, I think it probably will because it's a James Bond opening song, and the opening song's good. So I could So I could see that getting in. Other than that sort of Oscar, that sort of realm, I don't see it getting much else.
Yeah, I'm predicting it for song and sound right now. I don't see them double nominating Hans Zimmer.
Maybe not.
I mean, because there's already you could triple nominate Johnny Greenwood for Licorice Pizza, Power of the Dog, and Spencer. I think we'll probably only get 2. I mean, you could double nominate Desplat this year. I mean, and then you also could double nominate Zimmer.
Yes, so, you got seven amongst 3 people.
Right. So, and then there's also just going to be other good scores from people that didn't do more than one in the year. So, because Desplat is doing a Nightmare Alley, I believe. Is his other one aside from French Dispatch. So, he won previously for Grand Budapest Hotel. Another Wes Anderson film. So its score is going to be really interesting. But yeah, I do think that it could get song, and I do think that it could get sound. Because didn't a Bond film win sound? One of the Craig ones.
Skyfall might have done. Okay. I'm not sure.
I know it's been nominated before, the franchise. I can't remember if it won. I know there was a Bond. It was either a Bond film or a Bourne film that won sound at one point, and I can't remember which was which. One of the JBs. But yeah, no, I'm definitely very excited for No Time to Die. Definitely will be checking it out. But so you're saying song, score, and sound are?
I think those are the 3 it has a shot in. I don't think we'll get all 3 though. I think, but they will try and recognize it somewhere. Is what I'm trying to say. Also, I should have probably mentioned this is solidly the 3rd best Daniel Craig Bond film. I don't think it will move up from there. It is. Okay. It is not as good as Skyfall and Casino Royale, but it is far superior to both Spectre and Quantum of Solace.
All right. Yeah, and I'm saying for Eyes of Tammy Faye to look out for actress, supporting actor, makeup and hair, maybe costumes, maybe. But probably just those 3. But Thomas, that's the show.
That is the show.
We did another one. Thank you everybody for listening to this one. Also, thank you to everybody who listened to the last one. Had a pretty decent debut. Hey, we like talking Oscars. We appreciate you listening in. If you have any thoughts on the news, the trailers, the movies that came out, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'll try and respond It'll
Yeah.
probably be me, but Thomas
Yes.
could as well. Thomas, you have a YouTube channel. You're doing cool
Do
stuff
I?
on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Paymons Pictures. Paimons. I realised I probably should have chosen a channel name that's easier to spell. But yeah, I do weekly videos on there on the YouTube. Weekly videos about films and whatever else I want to talk about. Recently did a video on Squid Game. So if you've seen that show and you enjoy it, there's a video of me criticizing it or giving one criticism. I've loved the show as a whole, I will say. But yeah, we got some fun things coming up on there, so make sure to check that out.
Yeah. And if I have the channel in my suggested channels or whatever on my channel, so you're of
Yes,
course watching this on my channel, so you can check out Thomas
I worked out
through
how to do that as
that.
well. I wrote, I'm here, then put link down to your channel. I
Yeah.
worked out how to do that. I was very proud of myself.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said last week, restructuring my channel. I should have a Dear Evan Hansen video coming out soon. Um, which is just basically me ranting about it for 8 minutes, but but yeah, I'm working on some other stuff. I have some ideas of what I want to do. But in the meantime, I'm doing this every week. And then you can also find me over on the basement. We just did like a 5.5 hour birthday live stream
Yep.
for me, so that was fun. We did a watch along with Knives Out. You can go check that out with my co-host Mark Knopik. That's also in the suggested channels for my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, plenty of stuff to look forward to. Next week, No Time to Die comes out here, plus Mass comes out.
Nice.
Very, very anticipated film. And Dow, Jason Isaacs, Martha Plimpton, and the other dude who I always forget, Reed Birney. That's his name. Very, very excited for that one. But until next time, Thomas, anything you'd like to leave the listeners with?
Keep talking Oscars because it's a brilliant thing
Yeah,
to do.
it is a great thing. Till next time, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.